What if nothing in your life has meaning, and you are the one that chooses the meaning behind the circumstances of your life? What if you get to write the story, and actually that is the difference? That is what makes the difference between being a victim of life or being a powerful creator that gets to create a life that you are deeply in love with. I believe that we all have the power inside of us to change our circumstances, whether that is financial limitation that has you running around making just enough money to survive every month, whether that's a toxic relationship that is making you suffer so much, whether that is working in a job that you're not passionate about and feeling day to day like your love for life is diminishing. We have the power inside of us to change these circumstances, but we can't always change them immediately. There are some situations in our life that take persistence, that take time, that take consistency to be able to transform those situations. For example, if you're going through a particular health crisis or dealing with health-related things, or you're healing from trauma, from very drastic situations, very violent, painful things, you can't heal from one therapy. You can't heal from one medicine in one day, or sometimes even in a week. Sometimes our healing journey is such that we have to move through the darkness for a lot of time before the outer world actually transforms, before our body actually heals, before we actually feel different. So the question then becomes, if you can change your circumstances, but you can't change them immediately, and often you're going to have to stay in those uncomfortable circumstances on the path to your transformation, the question becomes, what is the story that you are going to tell yourself about what is happening to you? What is the meaning that you're going to give to the circumstances of your life? In these particular contexts, for example, if you are on a healing journey and it's taking a lot of time, sometimes we want to tell ourselves the story of, wow, poor me. Why me? The universe doesn't love me. I'm alone. I'm unsupported, because if I was supported, then this would be much easier. Then I wouldn't have to go through such difficulty. Then I wouldn't have to be going through so much pain. But what if actually the truth is that you are going through that pain, or you could choose to create the story, and it's taking that much time because this is the obstacle, this is the circumstance that is turning you into a more resilient, a more patient, a more powerful, a wiser human being. I believe that our life is a reflection of who we are. Of course, to say that statement requires a very deep and nuanced conversation if we want to fully understand it, but let's just take it at surface level. Our life is a reflection of who we are. So if we are in circumstances that we don't love, if we are in circumstances that are making us suffer, where we feel disempowered, where we feel helpless, then often the thing that we need to change to transform our life is within ourselves. But true change takes time. True change is not a marketable thing that you can say, hey, I'll teach you to change and transform yourself and your life in 30 days. We can change small things in that amount of time, but to actually become a wiser, a stronger, a more patient, a more compassionate human being is a journey. And in every step of that journey, you have the choice to decide what story you are going to tell yourself about the situation that you are living. For example, what if you are right now in a job that you not only don't feel passionate about, but that requires that you deal with toxic dynamics that really don't feel good inside of your body? And there are some people that are just going to tell you, well, just quit the job. But sometimes we're not so capable of just jumping off of that cliff and making that big decision to go from having a stable income to no income because it's not good for us. Why? Because maybe we have families that we need to take care of, because maybe we don't feel safe enough to make that decision. And hey, that is okay. Sometimes you have to stay in that uncomfortable job for some time while you figure out what you're going to do, or while you look for another option. And in that time that you are stuck, quote unquote, in that job that you don't feel passionate about and where you have to deal with toxic dynamics, you're the one that's going to have to decide, what is the meaning? What is the story you are going to tell yourself about the situation that you are in? Every day that you're at your job, whether that's in person or online, are you going to be telling yourself, oh, poor me, this sucks, look how I suffer, and feel sorry for yourself and really just become a victim every single day? Or are you going to be capable of using your creative power as a human being to say, hey, I choose the story. I decide what meaning to give to this job. Yes, I don't love it. Yes, it's not my biggest passion. Yes, maybe I have to deal with these dynamics, but hey, I'm so grateful for it because it's what's giving me the financial stability that I need right now to create the thing that I actually prefer. Thanks to this, maybe I don't have to suffer in extreme survival because I have no money coming in. And thanks to this, maybe I have the support that I actually need to figure out what's next in my life. One situation can be both a punishment or it can also be a gift, depending on how you choose to see it, depending on the story that you choose to tell yourself and the world about why you are going through that. Unfortunately, we are so used to choosing the story of the victim because for some reason we think, and this is very deep programming, that if we suffer more in this crazy way, that we have a more significant and meaningful existence. I know that sounds really crazy and it's a really deep concept, but it's absolutely true. In conversation, when you are hearing stories or when you're telling somebody about something difficult you're going through, do you notice how sometimes as human beings, we start to compete for who's suffering the most? Oh, this happened to me. Oh, this happened to me. Oh, this happened to me. And it's all of a sudden, it's like the amount of suffering that you go through is your badge of honor in life. It's like that is what actually makes you feel like you're important, like you're special because you suffer so much. And so there's that, and there are so many other things that make it so that sometimes we cling on to these stories of suffering because they give us some form of significance and of meaning. But I want you to know that that is not the only way for you to feel significant or for your life to have meaning. In fact, that is one of the most self-destructive ways to feel like your life is significant and you have meaning. You have the capacity to choose a different story. And if in your life you have repeatedly chosen to tell yourself the story of suffering because it gives you some form of meaning and you've done it so many times, that is now something that is programmed in you. It means you've had that certain neural pathway, you've lit up that certain neural pathway through your thought process so many times that it's the easiest thought to have. So I'm not saying that this is immediately the easiest thing to do to transform your life from day and night. What I am saying is that this is a worthy challenge. The challenge of asking yourself, can I have a new perspective about the situation that I'm in? Maybe you're a single parent and raising your child is incredibly difficult. It's incredibly painful because you have no other financial support and you often don't even have emotional support and you have to hold yourself up in that situation. But just because it's difficult doesn't mean that you can stop being a parent tomorrow. So you're in that situation and this is your reality. Are you going to go to bed every day saying, poor me? Or do you have the capacity to change the story and say, maybe as you're going to bed, I'm so proud of myself for surviving this day and for the way that I am moving through this process. And maybe the reason that I'm experiencing this is because the universe gave me exactly what I needed to become a stronger, more patient, more resilient person. When you become a stronger, more patient, more resilient person, it's not for anybody else. When you actually evolve as a human being, when you grow inside, when you become stronger, the person that receives the gifts of that work is yourself. When you choose to make absolutely everything in your life a gift instead of an obstacle, because with whatever happens, you choose to create a story that is empowering, then over time, you grow inside. And those gifts sometimes are tangible because when you evolve inside, your life outside does change. But many of the gifts that you will receive from this work are internal. It's the peace that you feel when you are actually a person of integrity and of wholeness and of honesty. It's the feeling of joy that you have when you go through something difficult and you come out on the other side victorious. It's the wisdom that blossoms within you by having turned darkness into light. So the most important message of this video is to remember that you choose the story, that you choose the meaning, that if you're going through a difficult time, I'm not minimizing your pain. I'm not saying you have to stay there forever. You're not destined to stay there forever. You absolutely can change. But on the path to that change, you can choose a more empowering story that makes it so that you suffer less in the situation that you are in now. We are very powerful creators, but we don't control life. We aren't God in the way that we have come to understand the word God and the meaning of God. There is so much in life that we do not control. We can have the most specific and excellent plan for our life for the next month, for the next year, for the next 5 years, but we don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. How many times in life has life completely surprised you? So if you have no control over life, but what you do have control over is yourself, the way that you react to the things that happen, and the stories that you create about the things that happen, then where are you going to focus your energy? Are you going to focus it on feeling bad about the things that you literally have no control over? Or are you going to focus it on reprogramming your mind and becoming a person that no matter what happens, you choose a positive story, not fake optimism, not a fear of darkness, not running away from your shadow, a story that is positive because it's empowering. This is happening to me because it's making me a stronger person. Yes, I don't love this job, but thanks to this job, I am supported financially. Yes, this situation of being a single parent is really difficult, is really painful, is really hard, but it's a beautiful gift and a loving unconditional offering to the universe, and I will receive these gifts tenfold. You can make up whatever story that you want. How beautiful of a story can you write about the situation that you're going through? I challenge you to do that in your life. Think of one thing in your life right now that is really hard, but you can't change it right now. And what is the story that you can tell yourself, the meaning that you can give to that circumstance that makes you feel empowered? What if life is actually unconditionally loving and truly gives you everything for your growth? Because once you move through that difficult time, you will come out a more joyful, a freer, a stronger human being. So I leave you with that message because I truly believe in it. And with time, when you reprogram your mind to create empowering stories, it becomes easier. It becomes easier until it becomes second nature. And if everything that happens is a gift, not an obstacle, not a story of suffering, then it's inevitable that as the weeks pass, as the months pass, as the years pass, you become a stronger, a better, a more evolved human being, sincerely, genuinely within you. And I promise you that comes with so many gifts. So I leave you with that, knowing that if you are here still listening to this message, that you needed to hear this message today. And if you're interested about going deeper with me and learning about the work that I do, the art that I create, and you want to support my channel or work more deeply with me, then I invite you to check the links in the description. If you resonated with this message also, I even invite you to share this video with somebody that needs to hear this message. And of course, subscribe to my channel to support it because it is brand new. So thank you. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening, and I'll see you in the next video.